In 1940, a remote area of meadowland, 6 miles south of Darlington and to the west of the London North East Railway line, was requisitioned as a satellite landing ground for the No. 4 Bomber Group station of Middleton St George. The nearest village was Dalton-on-Tees on the A167 road. During 1941, hard runways, a perimeter track and 36 pan dispersals were constructed. The hangars were the usual 2 Type T2s and a single B1, and the airfield had dispersed and temporary buildings. By October 1941, RAF Croft had opened under No. 4 Group Command, and on the 20th, No. 78 Squadron arrived from Middleton with its obsolete Whitley bombers to convert to the new Halifaxes. On the 20th of January 1942, No. 78 Squadron conversion flight formed at Croft with 4 Halifaxes. But it wasn't until March that the squadron received the first of their new aircraft. In May, No. 78 Squadron flew as part of the 1,000 bomber raids before returning to Middleton on the 10th of June, as Croft was scheduled to be upgraded to Class A standard, with extensions to the runways to accommodate the heavier bomber types coming into service. In September, Croft reopened and was one of the northern airfields allocated for use by the all-Canadian No. 6 Group. But that group didn't form until 1943, and the airfield temporarily remained under No. 4 Group Command. On the 1st of October, No. 419 Moose Royal Canadian Air Force Squadron, equipped with Wellington Mark IIIs, arrived from Topcliffe. From a nucleus provided by No. 419, No. 427 Lion Squadron formed at Croft on November the 7th. 2 days later, No. 419 moved to Middleton to convert to Halifaxes, leaving Croft to the newly formed No. 427 Squadron with the Wellington IIIs. On the 16th of September, No. 16 1516 Beam Approach Flight arrived from Middleton with Oxfords for training in beam and blind approach landings. They stayed until the 14th of October when they returned to Middleton. No. 427 Squadron flew its first operational sortie on December the 14th, when 3 Wellingtons took off to mine enemy waters, with all returning safely. RAF Croft was passed to No. 6 Group Royal Canadian Air Force Command in January 1943. No. 427 Squadron's Wellingtons flew their first main force operation under RCAF command on the night of the 15th and 16th of January, when they took part in a 157-strong bomber force to Lorient. One of the squadron's Wellingtons, BK-364ZLG, crashed in the target area with the loss of all crew. By March, No. 427 Squadron had re-equipped from their Wellington IIIs to the improved Wellington 10s, just in time for them to move to Leeming in May. While at Croft, No. 427 Squadron had flown 263 sorties for the loss of 10 Wellingtons. Upon their departure, Croft was designated as a base for No. 6 Group Halifax conversion units, and on the 10th of May, No. 1664 Heavy Conversion Unit formed at Croft for Halifax training, staying until the 7th of December when it moved to Dishworth. Croft was once more designated as an operational airfield, and No. 431 Squadron arrived on the 10th of December, followed the next day by No. 434 Squadron. Both arrived from Tholthorpe, and both operating the Halifax. The squadrons continued using Halifaxes until converting to Lancaster 10s, No. 431 Squadron in October, and No. 434 Squadron in December. On the 25th of April 1945, the 2 Croft squadrons flew their last operational mission against Wangaraga Island, and then were employed in ferrying released POWs back to the UK. With hostilities in Europe over, the Croft squadrons were earmarked to return to Canada. No. 431 Squadron departed on the 12th of June, and No. 434 on the 15th. With the departure of the Canadians, RAF Croft was renamed RAF Neasham, and briefly continued to serve as the Middleton St George satellite, being used for circuits and bumps by No. 13 OTU's Mosquitoes. But in 1946 the airfield was closed to flying, and after a brief period under a holding party, RAF Neasham was abandoned by the RAF. There were a total of 138 Bomber Command aircraft from RAF Croft which failed to return or crashed in the UK. This comprised 10 Whitleys, 20 Wellingtons, 87 Halifaxes and 21 Lancasters. In 1947 the Darlington and District Aero Club formed at former RAF Croft. However, the club folded after only 5 years and the airfield was never to be used for flying again. However, a new life beckoned in the late 1940s and 50s when the Darlington and District Motor Club began to hold motor race meetings on the runways and perimeter tracks. This activity continued, and in 1997 the circuit underwent a major transformation, with an international class motor track being built. The straight was constructed on one of the former World War II runways. It is still possible to see a few Second World War buildings on nearby farmland, although most of the major structures have been demolished and the concrete has been used as hardcore in the nearby villages.